And hey guys, it's Courtney. So today, the book we're going to be reading is Ramona Quimby Age 8. So, and it's Ramona Quimby Age 8. Life as a third grader is tough. You never get better at third grade unless you try. Ramona's job is to be nice to fussy. Ramona's job is to be nice to fussy Mrs. Kemp, who watches her while her mother works. If Mrs. Quimby didn't work, Mr. Quimby couldn't return to college on out as Ramona expected, even though she enjoys her classes new reading program. Dear Danny, the yard ape teases her on a horrible day. She throws up at school. Being 8 isn't easy, but it's never dull. So, and then you could collect all of her books. So, let's get started. Ramona Quimby hoped her parents. Ramona Quimby hoped her parents would forget to give her a little talking to. She did not want anything to spoil this exciting day. Ha ha! I get to ride the bus to school by myself. Ramona bragged to her big sister, Beatrice liked breakfast. Her stomach felt quivery with excitement at the day ahead. A day that would begin with a bus ride just then the right length to make her feel a long way from home. But not long enough. She hoped to make her feel car sick. Ramona was going to ride the bus because changes had been made in schools in the Quimbys. Part of the city during the summer, Glenwood, the girls' old school, had become an immigrant school, which meant Ramona had to go to Kettlehurst Primary School. Ha ha, yourself. Beezus was too excited to be annoyed with her little sister. Today, I start high school. Junior high school, correct. Junior high school, correct, Ramona, who was not going to let her sister get away with acting older, which she really was. Rosemont Junior High School is not the same as high school. And besides, you have to walk. Ramona had reached the age of demanding answers from everyone, even herself. All summer, whenever a grown-up asked what grade she was in, she felt like she were fibbing when she answered third. Because she had not actually started the third grade. Still, she could not say she was in the second grade since she had finished that grade last June. Grown-ups did not understand that summers were free from grades. Ha ha to the both of you, said Mrs. Quimby as he carried his breakfast dishes into the kitchen. You're not the only one who's going to school today. Yesterday, I Yesterday had been the last day, has been his last day working at the checkout counter with the shop rate market. Today, he was returning to college to become what he called a real live school teacher. He was also going to work one day a week in the frozen food warehouse of the chain of ShopRite. Markets to help the families squeak by as the grown-ups put it until they finished with his schooling. Ha ha to all of you if you don't hurry up, said Mrs. Quimby as he swished ashes with suds in the dishpan. She stood back from the sink so she would not spatter the white uniform she wore in the doctor's office where she worked as an apprentice. Daddy, will you still have to do homework? Ramona wiped off her milk mustache and gathered up her dishes. That's right, Mr. Quimby flipped a dish towel at Ramona as she passed him. She giggled and dodged happy because he was happy. Never again will he stand all day at a cash register, ringing up groceries for a long line of people who are always in a hurry. And will Mother have to sign your progress reports? Mrs. Quimby laughed. I hope so. Beatrice was the last to bring her dishes into the kitchen. Daddy, what do you have to study to learn to be a teacher? She asked. Ramona had been wondering the same thing. Her father knew how to read and do arithmetic. He also knew about Oregon pioneers and about 2 pence making 1 quart. Mr. Quimby wiped a plate and stacked in the cupboard. I'm taking an art course because I want to teach art. And I'll study child development. Ramona interrupted. What's a child development? How kids grow, answered her father. Why does anyone have to go to school to study a thing like that? Wondered Ramona. All her life she had been told the way to grow was good to eat was to eat good food. Usually food she did not like and get plenty of sleep. Usually when she had more interesting things she could do than go to bed. Mrs. Quimby hung up the dishcloth, swooped Picky Packy, the Quimby's old yellow cat, and dropped him at the top the basement steps. Scat all of you, she said, or you'll be late for school. After the family rushed to brush their teeth, Mr. Quimby said to his daughters, Hold out your hands. Hold out your hands, he said to each waiting pair he dropped. a new pinky eraser. Just for luck, he said. Not because I expect you to make mistakes. Thank you, said the girls. Even a small present was appreciated of because presents of any kind had been surreal sorts while the family tried to save money. So Mr. Quimby could return to school. Any kind of source while the family tried to save money, so Mr. Quimby could return to school. Ramona, who liked to draw as much as her father, especially treasured the new eraser. Smooth, pearly pink, silk softly of rubber, and just the right erasing pencil lines. For eraser pencil lines. Mrs. Quimby handed each member of her family a lunch to in paper bags and one in a lunchbox from Ramona. Now, Ramona, she began. Ramona sighed. Here it was, that little talking she always dreaded. Please remember, said her mother. You really must be nice to Willa Jean. Ramona made a face. I try, but it's awfully hard. Being nice to Willa Jean was part of Ramona's life that was not changing. The part she wished would change every day after she could go to her friend Howie's camps. One interruption. If you would like to see more parts of me reading Ramona Quimby, then subscribe down below and tell me what you think is going to happen to Ramona next. That's where her parents paid Howie's grandmother to look after her until one of them could come for her. Both of Howie's parents too went off to work each day. She liked Howie, but after spending the most summer except for swimming lessons in the park at the camphouse, she tried having to play with the 4-year-old Willa Jean, but she was also tired of apple juice and milk and graham crackers for a snack every single day. No matter what Willa Jean complained, Ramona, her grandmother thinks it's my fault because I'm bigger. Like the time Willa Jean wore her flippers when she ran under the sprinkler, pretending she was a mermaid on the tuna fish can, and left big wet footprints on the kitchen floor. Mrs. Kip said I should have stopped her because Willa Jean didn't know any better. Mrs. Quimby gave Ramona a quick hug. I know It isn't easy, but keep trying. When Ramona sighed, her father hugged her and said, "Remember, kid, we're counting on you." Then he began to sing, we've got high hopes, try hopes, buy cherry pie and July hopes." Ramona enjoyed her father's making up new words for a song about a little old ant moving as a rubber plant. She liked being big enough to be counted on. Sometimes when she went to the camp, she felt as if everything depended on her. How if Howie's grandmother did not look after her for her mother? She could not work full time. If her mother did not work full time, her father could not go to school. If her father did not go to school, he might have to go back being a checker, the worker that made him tired and cross. Still, Ramona had too many interesting things to think about to let her responsibility worry her as she walked through the autumn sunshine toward her school bus stop. Her new eraser in a hand and new sandals on her feet, the quivering feeling of excitement in her stomach in the song about high hopes running through her head. She thought about her father's new part-time job zipping around in a warehouse forklift truck filling orders for orange juice, fish sticks, and other frozen items the market carried. He called himself Santa's little helper. Because the temperature of the warehouse was way below zero and he could have to wear heavy padded clothing to keep him from freezing. The job sounded like fun to Ramona. She wondered how was she going to feel about her father's teaching art to other people's children, and decided not to think about that for a while. Instead, Ramona thought about diseases, going off to another school where she would get to take a cooking class and where she could not come to the rescue if she got into trouble. As Ramona approached her bus stop, she thought about one of the best parts of her new school. None of her teachers in the new school would know she was Beatrice's little sister. Teachers always liked Buses. She was so prompt and neat. When both girls had gone to Glenwood School, Ramona often felt as much if teachers were thinking, "Oh, I wonder why Ramona Quimby isn't more like her big sister." When Ramona reached the bus stop, she found Howie Kemp already waiting with his grandmother and Willie Jean, who had come to wave goodbye. Howie looked up from his lunchbox, which he had opened to see what was going to have for lunch, and said to Ramona, "Those new sandals make your feet look awfully big." "Why, Howie? Why? Why, Howie?" said his grandmother. That's not a nice thing to say." Ramona studied her feet. Howie was right. But why shouldn't her new sandals make her feet look big? Her feet had grown since her last pair. She was not offended. "Today I'm going to kindergarten," boasted Willie Jean, who was wearing new overalls and a t-shirt and a pair of her mother's old earrings. Willie Jean was convinced she was beautiful because her grandmother said so. Ramona's mother said Mrs. Kemp was right. Willie Jean was beautiful when she was clean because she was a healthy child. Willie Jean did not feel she was beautiful like a healthy child. She felt she was beautiful like a grown-up lady on TV. Ramona tried to act kindly toward little Willie Jean. Toward little Willie Jean. After all, her family was depending on her. Not kindergarten. Willie Jean, she said, "You mean nursery school." Willie Jean gave Ramona a cross, stubborn look that Ramona knew too well. I'm going to kindergarten. I'm going to kindergarten, she said. Kindergarten is where the kids are. Bless her little heart, said her grandmother, admiring as always. The little yellow school bus Ramona had waited all summer to ride and pulled up at the curb. Alright. That is the end of our video. I hope you guys enjoyed Ramona Quimby Age 8 Part 1. If you would like to go again, if you would like to see Ramona Quimby Age 8 Part 2, please click subscribe and comment down below what you think of Ramona Quimby. Talk to you, and make sure you click the like button. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace. Peace.